Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today, I decided to review August comebacks because this month might have been the best month for K-pop we've had in a while. I won't be ranking the songs, just reviewing them, rating them in different categories, namely hook as in how catchy it is, replayability as in the longevity of the songs, the production of the songs, the structure, and the album's B-sides. I haven't managed to include all of August's releases, but I've linked my script in the description where I wrote short reviews on the releases that I didn't include in the video. Without further ado, let's dive right in. Did Golden Child just redeem themselves after Burn It? Yes, they did. The whole entirety of this title is just so enticing to the ear, from the crisp Latin reggaeton beat to the just wholly pleasing vocals. This sort of composition isn't very new to Golden Child, but with this song, it felt like they finally accomplished a concept that they had on trial for a while. I did not expect this from Golden Child, given that their last comeback was Burn It. The multi-part choreography of the song was also super refreshing to watch, with all the Latin, salsa-like incorporations. In addition, I loved all of the songs in the album, making this one of my favorite albums in the entirety of the year so far, even though the order of the tracks were a bit chaotic. Some personal favorites were Fanfare, Spell, and Singing in the Rain. Overall, I'd give this release a solid 10 because, well, deserved. Here are the individual ratings. Reverting back to their first handful of titles, Astro went back to their youthful, energetic, and cutesy concept era with this new release. Their older title tracks consisted of a pop-funky soundscape that was clearly emulated in this comeback. With a clear, catchy hook, they seem to have rerouted back into track after their previous title, One. I like the B-sides from the album as well, my favorites being Footprint and My Zone. Overall, this comeback was super fresh and very energizing, and it pleased me because most of my favorite songs from Astro are from their older discographies such as Baby, Crazy Sexy Cool, etc. I would give this release a good 8.5 overall, and here are the individual ratings. Did On and Off just drop Song of the Year? I'm afraid so. This comeback was barely hyped up at all, but from the teasers and the medleys, I knew that On and Off were gonna slice the summer concept up. And they did! This summery, futuristic concept is actually so unconventional because I actually haven't seen a group fuse two completely polar concepts into one. The music video was so fun and cinematic to watch and was an interesting visual addition to the song in itself. The pre-chorus is so uplifting and it might actually be one of my favorite pre-choruses in K-pop because of the fun chord progressions and the melody line being so satisfying to listen to. I loved all of the B-sides in the album, Summer Poem and Dry Eyes being my favorites. Overall, On and Off did not disappoint, hence the solid 9.5. Here are the individual ratings. When I tell you I was super hyped for this release, I'm not even joking. Thrill Ride was a pretty high reach with the unique lifeguard concept and that one recorder motif that played through the entirety of the song. The song itself is so gripping with its energetic vocals and sunny vibe, obviously adhering to the summer concept of August while also trying out something different. I also love how the music video shows two polar sides, light and dark, day and night, without actually losing the momentum of the song. The mixing of the song is very crispy and strong in itself, and the harmonies in the chorus make it even more pleasant to listen to. In all, this album might actually be their best one yet, even though the songs were relatively slower to retain the summer vibe of the album. My favorites of the album are Dancing Till We Drop and Bet On You. The stylistic choices throughout the MV were also amazing. Overall, this would get a clear 9 from me. Here are the individual ratings. This release brought out the biggest dissatisfaction in me, not just because of the song, but because of the fact that we waited 11 months just for her to come back with a single that didn't even hit the 3-minute mark. After learning that Teddy was the main producer for this release, it all pieced together, especially since the infamous structure that Teddy usually stuck with was incorporated in this song. The song itself had a very underwhelming drop that I definitely wasn't expecting. I was okay with the verses, and I definitely somewhat liked the pre-chorus, but the entire song just didn't flow as much as I expected, given that it was a comeback after nearly 11 months of inactivity. I don't have a lot to say about this song, so I'd give it a 4.5. I hope she comes back with an album or at least a few more songs so she can prove her potential a bit more, because this song just didn't do it for me. Here are the individual ratings. Okay, firstly, I'm not going to be sugarcoating this any more than it deserved to be, just because they're my alt group. But ever since they announced their first full album, armed with 10 vastly varied songs, I haven't been able to speak about anything else apart from it. Wave portrays a distinct sound with rich chords and a strong melodic line that overall adds to the summery vibe that the song wants to portray. It was great to see the line distributions even out a bit more throughout the album. The diversity in sound in the entirety of the album is pretty vast, as the song genres range from hard deep house to funk pop to ballads. I really enjoy CIX's discography, and for me, this new album just proved how they have one of the most cohesive boy group discographies in 4th gen. In Wave particularly, I loved how well it flowed. The addition of the false pre-chorus was also pretty unconventional. I liked all the songs from the album, but my particular favorites would have to be Bad Dream, 20, and Confession. Overall, I'll give this album, as CIX's first album, a 10. Here's why. After the long wait of 2 years, we finally got the highly anticipated Red Velvet album we were promised. Even from first listen, the title song Queendom seemed like a typical Red Velvet song, from the adventurous yet distinct melodies to the stylistic choices of the music video. Is it their best? No. But is it a bad song? Also no. The raps in the song felt shoehorned and particularly messes up the song's original structure in my opinion. But it's still a pleasant listen, and I won't lie, I haven't been able to stop listening to the album since its release. My favorites in the album are Pose and Knock on Wood, but overall this whole mini was really pleasing to listen to. Overall, I'll give this release a good 8. Here's my individual ratings. To be completely honest, we knew this intentionally noisy concept for them was going to hit hard anyways. Thunderous retained its energy and major rebellion vibe until the end, keeping me hooked throughout. I was initially expecting a God's Menu 2.0 from the way that the mood was set, but the main intention behind the song was pretty clear from the way it was portrayed, and needless to say, I'm super satisfied. Also, the fact that Stray Kids came back with a 14-song album, at least one of the members having producing or lyric writing credits for each of the songs. Much to my satisfaction, I loved the whole album and the track order, lining the songs up based on its noise level essentially, and it was overall such a pleasing listen, especially for me. My favorites in the album so far are Red Lights, Domino, Sick, and Gone Away. Holistically, I'd give this album a good 9. Here are my individual opinionated ratings. And that's the end of the video. If I haven't included a certain release in this video, it's most likely in my script, which if anyone wants to read, I will link in the description. I hope I've conveyed my opinions on August's vast and varied range of releases, and most importantly, I hope you enjoyed. Here are some of my other favorite releases of this month.
It's all just a bad dream. It's all just a bad dream. 너와 나 둘이서 지금 play the game. 너의 표정까지 숨겨본 그 face. 행복할 때 가면 domino.